Hi everyone, it's Alia or Cake Legend and welcome to day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas cakes. Of course, we had to do one cake that was using my favorite trend, the vintage piped buttercream trend. So to start, I'm stacking my 6-inch cakes again with some chocolate ganache in the middle. These are just 4-inch cake layers, so the cake ended up being only about 3.5, maybe 4 inches tall. And if you're unsure how to stack a cake and want to watch a tutorial on that, you can find it in the top right-hand corner. Once my cake was stacked and chilled, it was time to do the crumb coat. I know I usually skip the crumb coat, but since I was making 12 of these cakes at the same time, I wanted to do a crumb coat to help keep them fresh while they were in the fridge. Plus, a crumb coat just helps even out the cake so that your final layer will be very nice and beautiful. If you want to watch my tutorial on how to mask a cake while skipping the crumb coat, you can find that in the top right-hand corner as well. Now it's time to mask the cake. I just went with a simple white buttercream finish, smooth on the sides as well as the top. When I was done masking my cake, I put it in the fridge to chill, and then I grabbed this silicone fondant mold so that I could make these little bows. These are really easy to use, and I think I got mine on AliExpress. All you do is take whatever color fondant you desire, press it into the mold. I use a knife to cut off the excess on the back, and then you just push them out. I made a whole bunch of these bows so they could dry a little bit before we started decorating the cake. Next, I grabbed this Wilton number 16 star tip and put it into a piping bag with some buttercream that I had dyed green. First, I placed these little marks on the cake so that my decoration would be very even, and then I got started with piping these little garlands going around the cake. These are really easy to pipe. All you have to do is squeeze at a constant pressure while you're making your little swoop, and just move your hand up and down to get the texture. I repeated that around the cake, and then I placed our little fondant bows where each of the ends met. Then, using the same piping tip, I grabbed some white buttercream and started piping this decoration where it's kind of like a shell border, but 3 of them connecting. I don't really know what to call this. But I repeated that going around the sides, and then I grabbed a Wilton 102 tip, aka the teardrop tip or the rose petal tip, and using the pointy side facing outwards, I piped a little border going around the top and base of the cake. Again, this one is done by just squeezing at a constant pressure and moving your hand up and down as you go around the cake. Whenever I make these like vintage piped cakes, I'm always making up the design on the spot, so that's why my explaining, I feel, is never the greatest. When I was done with the white borders, I went back to that number 16 tip with the green buttercream, and I piped another border at the base and the top. Now to add a little more detail in the cake, I grabbed this Wilton number 3 tip and dyed some buttercream red so I could pipe these little dots going down the sides of the cake underneath each bow. I always find that these little details really start bringing the cake together. Then I wanted to do some finer details, so I grabbed a Wilton number 1 tip, which is like the tiniest little round tip that you've ever seen, and I started piping these loop-de-loop kind of things at the top of the cake. To me, they kind of looked like ribbon, but again, I was just making this up on the spot, so this is what I came up with on the spot. Just drawing some swirly looking lines on the sides of my cake. And then I did the same thing at the base, more lines, except these ones were just teeny tiny arches that were just sitting on top of the border. When I was done piping around the entire base of the cake, this cake was finished. I think it's really simple, but still really elegant and cute, and I hope you guys all agree. Be sure to leave a like and comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next Christmas cake. Bye!